Welcome to the future. Welcome to Bitcoin. Welcome to BM as well. Bitumers, how are you? It's a pleasure to be with you for another month, June 27th, 2024. How time flies as we go from Bit2Me Ilia to Bit to My Life. Today, we are going to have a program, and we will also be joined by Gunter from the community, whom you all know, and of course, Giovanny, who is also with us. How are you, Giovanny? How's everything going?
Hi, Javi. It's really amazing. A joy to be here, as always, as you say, in light, and it's great. It's really a great day. We've also seen that the community is full of energy. We want to greet everyone who is always here with us, supporting us. And, well, welcome, Javi. I really enjoyed the beginning very much. You actually put BM in there. Indeed.
The other day, remember, Nil came and left us all amazed. By the way, we are going to do a review, a mention of that new service, which, if I'm not mistaken, Giovanny, some people are already able to enjoy, and the rest of the BME users will be able to start using it starting next week in July. That's the idea, but well, we'll talk more about that later. Hey, greetings to those of you who are live. It's indeed a pleasure. Luis Gire, Edu, Maury, Elvi, you never miss. You're great. And, well, the whole community, Jose, Rafael, hey, thank you so much for joining us in this review of everything happening at Bit2Me, the new products, the campaigns, this very important campaign we have with Ilha, which we are so super excited about. And before that, as always, if it's okay with you, Giovanny, I'm going to do a quick review of what's happening in the market, a summary of the news that I think is most interesting and important for the impact on the price on one hand and the movements that are happening on the other. Despite the fact that we've been, as you know, in a bit of a sideways trend for about 3 months, I believe we reached, if I'm not mistaken, a high of approximately around $74,000 in March and have been sideways for about 4 months with a low that we hit this same week. Yesterday, the day before yesterday, we briefly dropped below $60,000 and now we're around $61,500. And well, just to highlight that these movements are mainly due to the sales being made, which are primarily driven by various market conditions and strategies. On one hand, the miners, as you know, are liquidating their assets because of the halving reduction. This reduction significantly impacts their revenue, and so many of those who were holding and maintaining their positions in Bitcoin have had to sell their holdings to cover costs and adjust to the new economic realities. The accumulation of ETFs, which was very positive in June, reached 26,028 Bitcoin. Now they dropped to 2,000. Yesterday was already a positive day, and the day before as well, they are recovering. And there I would highlight that there is definitely one of the most important funds of all, which you all know, which is BlackRock, that has not sold a single Bitcoin and is the one that holds the most Bitcoin, exceeding 300,000 in total. On the other hand, we see that people like Michael Saylor continue to accumulate Bitcoin significantly. The latest announcement he made is an approximately $700 million purchase in Bitcoin, currently bringing the total holding to 225,000. It's a very significant amount. On the other hand, something that is making a lot of noise in the media is the exchange that collapsed in 2014. For those who don't actually know, it was called Mt. Gox, which I find extremely funny because, in fact, many people don't know that Mt. Gox stands for Magic the Gathering. There were some Yuuzhan cards when we were younger. I don't know if anyone still has them, but they were Magic cards. Well, the name of that exchange comes from there. But anyway, the point is that when it collapsed, it had a significant amount of Bitcoin, and now the refunds are starting to be made. What returns or what figure are we talking about? 140,000 Bitcoin. Of course, 140,000 Bitcoins is an incredibly large amount. But the reality is this. The reality is that out of those 140,000 Bitcoin, 90,000 Bitcoin will be delivered by the end of the year. And out of those 90,000 Bitcoins going to be delivered, 30,000 are already committed by funds, leaving us with 60,000 Bitcoins. And out of those 60,000 Bitcoins, there will probably be many users who have been following the price behavior of the cycles since the Mt. Gox crash in 2014 and likely won't sell, right? On the verge of all the anticipation of the rise that we might definitely experience. Therefore, we would be talking about roughly 30,000 Bitcoins approximately in total, in the end, ultimately. And in terms of money, 30,000 Bitcoin, I have it noted down here. We're talking about around $800 million. If Michael Saylor bought $700 million last week, to give you an idea of the impact and the media noise they make, it's much bigger than the actual reflection, right? It's 2009 that it will have on the market. So there are people who get ahead and sell with the news. On the other hand, it is also true that sales are coming together from two countries. Germany, which has sold about 2,700 Bitcoins, which is very little, literally what a good day of ETF purchases accumulates, which you know are already above 1 million and accumulate roughly 5% of the total supply, and the USA. Today has sold about 4,000. The US has about 200,000 Bitcoins, China as well, and Germany is a country that has fewer. That being said, and beyond Bitcoin, interesting things are also happening in the market. There is talk that the Ethereum ETF could potentially be launched as soon as this upcoming July 4th. And just 2 hours ago, it was very recently announced that Vanek is filling out the document to have a Solana ETF, another cryptocurrency. Why is this important? Because we know that the Bitcoin ETF has already been approved and they have bought more than 1 million. If Ethereum ETFs and other cryptocurrencies start getting approved, it will open up the possibility, which is not guaranteed, but the possibility that all these institutional players will start to hold and accumulate this type of asset. That's potentially good. If you have other cryptocurrencies besides Bitcoin, well, in principle, it would be positive, which I think is not easy apart from Ethereum, although I said this with Ethereum. And look, now in literally a week, we are going to have an ETF approved, but I find it difficult for it to be approved in the short term. I see it as complicated.
Therefore, to summarize, Giovanny, so I don't go on too long. In fact, before you summarize that you were referring to MadGhost, we have an article in Academy that we have shared in the chat so that they can take a look at it later because they want to keep an eye on what you are saying in summary, which is quite interesting, and especially how the market might act.
In summary, I think that during the summer, it is quite normal for us to continue moving sideways calmly, and it will be an important piece of news that breaks the market, causing significant changes. I'm interested in the debate between Biden and Trump, who are going to have a debate. Let's see if they say something about Bitcoin, because you already know that Trump is positioning himself very favorably towards Bitcoiners, which means a lot of votes, and let's see what Biden does if the topic comes up. I don't know if it will be a recurring or important topic for them, but for us, it obviously is, and let's see what happens tonight in that regard. So from now until the end of the year, I definitely think the miners' reserves are going to run out. We see significant outflows from the exchanges. We see approval of Ethereum ETFs and applications to approve other cryptocurrencies. The environment couldn't be more positive for the coming months. Well, as an introduction, I think it's quite interesting, Giovanni, to discuss what you all think, and if you believe that the whole setup being put together makes us think that from now until the end of the year and next year, 2025, will be very much interesting indeed. As we always say, absolutely and undoubtedly. Then there's the topic of MiCA starting next year, which is the European regulation that will facilitate the entry of the banking sector and traditional financial institutions here in Europe. So, well, I think we are very well positioned. As always, congratulations for believing in this technology, for discovering what it entails, and for staying with us for so long. 2 months go by, but it seems unbelievable. Giovanni was telling me, Joy, you have a photo on LinkedIn where you look like a different person now when I see you.
We have aged so much over the years, but it is true that time has indeed passed, Javi. We gave new and talented players to the industry, and not only are new and talented players coming, but even new and talented champions, like the case we have with Ilia Topuria, who is a champion now coming into this industry. In fact, you are going to handle that particular topic with him a bit.
Could it be? I love that you're bringing up this topic. Very well linked, Giovanni. You're awesome. Well, as you all are most well aware, Ilia Topuria, who is indeed currently the reigning UFC world champion, has indeed also reached an agreement with us to be a brand ambassador. Ilia shares one way of understanding life that is very similar to what we have at BB, which is a desire for self-improvement, to work, and to innovate by exploring various facets of life and continuously seeking opportunities to grow and improve. But Ilia, look, there's something he mentioned in a podcast I really liked. He said, financial education is very important, and he wanted to perfectly understand what Bitcoin and the world of cryptocurrencies are all about, because he is very interested in investment and understanding it. So, well, we are definitely looking forward to being able to have a chat with him, to share everything we have learned on this journey. And also, if you want to give us any ideas, to discuss them with him. We are absolutely eager to hear from you and share more insights. That would be the idea, to get together and give him all the knowledge, all the possible information, so that he can evaluate and also feel well equipped when he is interviewed. If they ask him about Bitcoin, if they ask him about BME, if they ask him about cryptocurrencies in general, he can give his perspective. So, well, we are very happy and excited about this achievement. As you saw, we put up a large, eye-catching billboard on Alcala Street featuring Ilia, and you are seeing it being shared widely on all social media platforms with those inspiring work messages.
Correct. In fact, some of us actually went to take a photo with the banner. They are also really showing the video of how they placed up and set up this banner on Alcala Street. And quite a few people passed by there. I was there together with Gunter as well. And this time I had the chance to have an opportunity to be with Gunter taking a photo, a couple of videos, and seeing how people really looked at it closely and said, wow, when they passed by, you know?
No, the truth is that the billboard was spectacular. It was there at number, I think, 174, and it literally covered the facade. A huge corner, very cool. And well, next year, in the upcoming year, Ilia has the World Championship. In the prestigious World Championship event, he will face a formidable opponent. Well, he will be rigorously challenged to maintain his champion position. He will face the highly skilled Volkanovski's Vitausendine, who is the determined player or athlete that wants to challenge him. And we will be closely accompanying him until that significant moment throughout these upcoming months with engaging stories that we will eagerly share. Obviously, with regular messages, consistent communication, and so on. We will diligently keep you informed, but I firmly believe he is also a very good ambassador because he is deeply rooted within the world of sports. Within the world of sports, values are shared, as I always say, of effort, energy, dedication, and well, for us, as I always say, it is a great pleasure to be able to count on Ilia.
Look, Javi, in fact, we actually quickly put up a little bit of a survey. Did you know Ilia Topuria before the campaign? I had the great opportunity to meet Isa Ilia Topuria prior to the BME campaign. And you know what the percentage of yes is? It's absolutely, as of now, at 63%. So, hey, that's fantastic.
Yusan is great, and he has numerous interviews with Sylvia. If you want to get to know him a little better and understand his perspective on life in greater detail, he has one specifically with Jordi Wild that lasts almost 3 hours and delves into many topics comprehensively. We also took into account his unique way of understanding life, his training regimen, sports activities, and values deeply rooted in tradition to reach an agreement successfully. We believe he also saw in us that seriousness, commitment, and desire to have the best products available, working closely together with you, making an effort consistently, being transparent always. And all those values are what led us ultimately to work together harmoniously.
In fact, as they say, good things are coming. And as Enki 574 says, one of his fights is expected to be in Spain. It's not confirmed yet, but Usain will keep an eye on it. Stay tuned to our social media because very interesting things are coming up where we will be collaborating and talking with Ilia Topuria. So stay tuned.
So we send you a hug, Ilia. I'm sure you're watching BB Life, like training with you. We're going to be amazed. I don't know, maybe not there, better not. I'm going to see him, but just imagine. Yes. Well, as you know, the other day, we also had a tremendous champion from the Bit2Me team here, which is Neil, and he really brought us some excellent material. Giovanny was indeed talking to us about this very new and exciting service, which is the ability to lock tokens with BM and have a series of advantages. So if it's okay with you, Giovanny, let's do a quick recap, at least the deadlines, a bit about what it consisted of, and also, if you want, for the people who are wondering when it will be released, if they can use it already or not, or what the conditions are, let's give them a bit more detail, perhaps. We are obviously not going to reproduce the entire explanation that Neil Yusan gave us because it was fantastic, but well, here are some details. It wasn't 3, 6, 12 months, and I'll leave it to you, Giovanny.
Correct. We are not going to reproduce it. We urge you to watch it again because it contains a lot of knowledge and is very well explained. That said, indeed, as you were asking, it is not officially open to everyone right now. It is exclusively open to BM holders, but not just any BM holder. It is for those who have been most loyal to us and are meeting certain requirements of the BM holder week to have early access to the BM lockups. Since yesterday, some people or users are already enjoying it. Some were commenting in the chat. Inky, the previous user I mentioned, told us that he and even Luis Paulette are also enjoying it. That said, what are the requirements? Being a token holder, token holders who have held a minimum of 10,000 BM for at least 6 months, and token holders who have held a minimum of 50,000 BM for at least 12 months. All those people, all those users, those BR holders, received an email and in their BME app updated to the latest version, a crucial detail, to have the app updated to the latest version for performance, security, and to be able to enjoy the new features. That said, a frequently asked question we've had on that 2000 line is whether the rewards are received daily. Yes, the rewards are received daily, but they are not available until the lock period ends, right? If you have any more additional questions, we are gathering them regarding the blockages in the BM and also some other related issues that we have in reserve. Thank you very much.
So, as Giovanny explained well, the other day we had Miguel Angel with us. Today we have the pleasure of having Gunter with us, also from the community. So let's welcome him, right, Giovanny, as he deserves. Welcome, Gunter. Good afternoon. How are you?
How are you? That's right. Welcome, Gunter. In fact, we are indeed very happy that you are here with us for many reasons, because you are one of the most loyal people in the community. And we have even had the opportunity to share with you in many places, including some in-person events. We have even had the chance to both talk with Javi and have you explain a bit about the vision, the needs of what the community truly wants, and what the users' voices represent.
Yes, exactly. I mean, tell us about your onboarding, how all these years have been, and your experiences, how you got into BME, why you like this ecosystem, and what inspired you. What's your story? That's what we want to know.
Well, look, I basically said after the 2021 pandemic, I essentially said if Bitcoin hasn't fallen by now, it's never going to fall. So I said, now is the time. Well, I got in late, but I said I have to get in no matter what. And it was actually just a coincidence. I went into the App Store, and the first ones that came up were simply just the ordinary stuff, the ones we all know. And then BB came up, and I said, well, I'll give it a try. And from there, it was the first time I started investing, and it was in the summer of 21. I will never forget it. Plus, I experienced the entire rise of, because I got in at around 20000 or something like that. I rode the entire rise up to almost 70000. And honestly, at that moment, I had no idea. And on top of that, I put in 50 euros and it went up. And I was like, damn, this is always winning. I mean, it's crazy. But of course, then I realized that, no, it's not like that. But, well, the truth is that actually having got me.
What have you learned? I'm very interested, because here we talk about the OGs, the time you've spent in the ecosystem. And based on the time you've been here, you get a sort of medal for surviving in crypto. I absolutely, definitely invest. What have you learned from the ecosystem and the market during all this time over the years?
The first thing is not to invest something you absolutely can't afford to lose at all. If you have money and you definitely need it, don't invest it. This market, like all the markets we already know in the financial world, the traditional stock market and the crypto market, even more so the crypto market, are very risky and unpredictable because we have volatility and can result in significant losses. Be careful, it can touch you, and that's it if not handled with caution.
It seems we're saying it touches yes.
Okay, now it actually appears to be like it, perfect, I think. Well, I'm saying since this has tremendous volatility, it's not advisable to play with your money here. You need to know exactly what you're getting into, what you're investing in, and it depends on the level of risk you're willing to take. So at the beginning, I did what we all did. I mean, investing like crazy without even knowing what each thing was. And then in the end, I said, look, let's do things right. I did the Webmasters program. And the truth is that from there, my vision of this whole market changed completely. I mean, knowing what you're doing helps a lot. Knowing what Bitcoin is and what the others are also helps a lot because, for example, now I was looking at the notes because I always more or less keep track of the highs and lows. just like all traders do. I don't consider myself a professional trader, but I do it. And for example, now Bitcoin, with what you mentioned earlier, is really testing a bottom. So it's very important to follow this and know if it's time to invest, time to exit, or time to wait. I mean, all those indicators help. We talked about it before the program, Gunther, and I think everyone watching us would also like to know what your prediction is, how you see the market, what you think is going to happen in the coming months, years, an assessment there.
That being said, before we continue, before I mention it, we were saying that we can't forget the disclaimer. This is not investment advice. As you are already well aware, this is a friendly, informal, and casual conversation among friends, and this is not investment advice. But we would like to know how you see it with everything you are learning, educating, and informing yourself, training, and preparing yourself. As you mentioned before, I think it still touches you deeply and personally. I don't know. Can you hear me clearly now?
Let's see, a little touch. I don't know if you can put it in front of you or something like that.
I have it here. No, it's the cable. Oh, it's the cable. Yes, it's the cable, actually. Go ahead. All right. Well, looking at the summary you made about the reasons for the drop, the entry of Ethereum ETFs, and the possible entry of Solana's ETF, I think things are very calm right now. And it's strange because I don't think this is normal. I believe it's because of the ETFs, but it's true that at some point this is going to start to explode. At least Bitcoin surely will. Because with so many institutions involved with ETFs, it seems very strange that they are controlling the situation so much, even to the point of drops after the halving. It seems very strange. So, I would be a bit cautious waiting to see, because from what you said, I think Germany was now looking to sell, right?
Yes, they are definitely selling some of the holdings they had. So do you think that in the short term, in 1, 2, or 3 months, we might see a drop to visit there at lower levels?
Is it possible there might be another low, or will this hold? Because we're definitely going to get a scare.
Let's ask the audience.
Gunther, Giovanny. In fact, Gunther is actually putting pressure on him. He really says, take a stand. He's indeed taking a stand. He says between 90 and K. So approximately around there, exactly around there.
Yes, by the end of the year, yes. I think by the end of the year, we will definitely hit 100,000. We can be there, right? Or early 2025, surely, yes. But I think we still need to reach 50,000, definitely. Absolutely.
Well, let us keep that note. Let us see if you are right, perhaps. Let us see if you are right.
Now, less important than before you joined, we were discussing the topic of BM's blockages. You are one of the people, you are one of the BM holders who meets those requirements and has already had the chance to start using that BSM block functionality. Do you have anything to share with us about that?
The truth is that I put it in the feedback, in the BME feedback, and I had been waiting for this for a long time because I mentioned it, in the meetings we've had sometimes. And I said that I had seen this token locking feature on other platforms, and I think it would be a strong point here. And honestly, I like the timeframes because they are 3 months, which isn't much. Up to 12 months is very good. I locked it in for 12 months from the very beginning, and honestly, it's yielding close to 20% API, I think. And the price of BM has increased by almost 4% in a day. The truth is that I am very happy. I have been waiting for this for a long time, and it is a tool that I, at least, will definitely use. There are people who might not want to wait that long, but since I know I'm not going to sell my tokens, 2021, I'll leave it for a year. If I buy more, I lock it in the flexible option, since we have a choice. If you don't want that much time, then it has to be flexible. If you don't want a year, then you have 6 months. Well, there are several options. So you can organize yourself based on your needs, or even, as Neil said in the previous live session, he said, if you want to have tokens in one of the 4 locks, you can have them in any of them. So the truth is that I really liked it, and I would like this block to continue, but I would also be quite interested in the rest.
How very interesting. In fact, with what you just mentioned there, Gunther, There is already indeed a proposal in the Bit2Me feedback tool. Remember to take a look at that proposal you made. It's already definitely there. Take full advantage, go in, vote, and follow up. It could very well be like your case where you made a proposal and now it's absolutely active. Why is it active? As I quickly repeat, exclusively for the people, for the BM holders who have met those requirements of the BM holder week. Another thing that some users on Telegram have asked in the frequently asked questions is that we have mentioned, and Neil said the API is variable, right? From a farming pool, but this time until it is released to the rest of the users, which will be starting in July 2023, the API will be maintained for a certain period of time, okay? That said, the trend will also be to maintain or even increase, even if more people join the farming pool, because there are some small internal locks that will precisely facilitate the well-being of BM in that aspect, allowing the BM APIs to remain locked. And also importantly, the API of the locked BMs will always be higher than the flexible one and the previous periods of 3 months and 6 months. If you block for a maximum period of 12 months, the overall level of the Space Center is also taken into careful and thorough consideration, and it influences the final outcome, right? To be able to have the highest API, which is crucial for our success and growth. So all those people who haven't joined yet because they haven't had the chance to enter the blocks in advance, when they do join, they will see that the API will be maintained over time and may even increase, providing them with significant benefits and opportunities.
That being said, you will be able to, if you have any doubts about how to use it, absolutely, it's on the channels, there's Telegram, and there are the dedicated support team members. But let's go basically, Gunther, it's extremely simple. It's like highly visual. We already saw the windows that Neil shared with us. And as you can see, it's literally just 2 or 3 very easily clicks and you're done, right?
Correct. The 3 clicks you mentioned must be in your wallet. If you have the BMs in the flexible, in the BB flexible, you need to withdraw them to the wallet. You follow the procedure. It's very simple. Withdraw, and then you press again to add the BM, and it will give you 3 options. Well, 4, flexible, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months.
Well, it's great to hear, Gunther, that you're happy too. I think a lot of people in the community were waiting for this. They've been writing, and we're really looking forward to having this. It's a way to align incentives, as they often say. And if you see you're going long-term with Bit2Me and you say, hey, I have 3, 6 months, 12, then adjust it to what interests each person in the long run a bit more. Well, fantastic. Hey, Gunther, let's continue, but feel free to jump in whenever you want because we have some updates to share from this month. But I'm telling you, if you want to chime in directly, don't hesitate. Absolutely, definitely. No problem, no worries.
Thank you.
Well, having mentioned this blocking issue, we insist that you give us feedback on how you see it, how you're using it, and so on, in detail, thoroughly, and comprehensively. USAND, which always serves us well, we have definitely closed a deal, and you know we work with a payment processor called PQPay, which provides us with the license and facilitates transactions between banks. Well, we have expanded the number of companies that provide us with this service and have closed a deal with a company called Unax, which is another payment processor. For what? In order to significantly improve the transfer experience and overall times when making deposits or transfers from the bank account. So this, well, let's see what happens. You'll give us feedback. There are banks that work with some, and there are others that work with others. We can't specify right now. But it's an improvement in terms of enhancing the transfer service between the bank accounts we use with Bit2Me. This is a significant step forward in making the process more efficient and user-friendly.
That's fantastic because users through all communication channels have told us that they would like us to improve it. Well, not only are we definitely working on it, but many of those projects and initiatives to improve exactly what you mentioned are already currently underway, and they have no cost, obviously. Absolutely.
Tell me.
Continuing with the agenda, we still currently have the Pro redesign pending, and now we also have a new redesign. You know, for what purpose in Pro? To be able to completely and thoroughly enjoy the full and comprehensive experience of professional and advanced trading in its entirety. people who don't have that prior knowledge can always use Wallet or start using Bit2Me Pro through our additional, helpful, and informative articles and other resources. You can use the new design directly from the app. Make sure to keep it updated. Go ahead, Javi.
No, exactly. You will find simpler, more intuitive menus. You will be able to load and unload the wallet with ease and efficiency and operate in a very straightforward manner without any hassle in a user-friendly environment quickly and effortlessly. Surely many people are already using it. If you haven't used it yet, we definitely encourage you to try it out just to see how it works. And also, as we mentioned before with the token lock, to absolutely give us feedback on your experience, whether it's good, if you have any doubts. And we still have pending, Giovanni, as we always talk about this, to see when we can organize a special program using this tool and explore all its possibilities, because I think people are going to like it. That's right. And we almost definitely need to set a date, Javi, because we've mentioned it a couple of times and have let it slide. But yes, let's see. July and August, I think, are a bit quieter months. Maybe we could absolutely organize it for September. We'll talk to the group of people and get it ready, right? Certainly, we should make sure everything is in place.
Great. Sounds good to me.
Write it down, Giovanni. Write it down.
Take note. Take note. Redesign and referral, Javi. What do you have to tell us about it?
Well, a lot more conveniences. I really liked it too, Giovanni, because we tested it internally. And it's basically that you can send through social media, which is something you asked for. Why? Because the community has also told you directly to share your referral with the cryptocurrency price and with a link that allows you to directly send it to a friend or family member so they can register through WhatsApp or different social networks. I really liked it, Giovanni, honestly.
Yes, the invite and earn system is constantly being improved to make it easier for the user and others. I repeat, stay tuned because the redesign of referrals will continue precisely to improve and facilitate the user experience. So we will also be very attentive to all the feedback you give us to keep improving.
And for those of you who haven't used referrals, you should know that it's very simple and that person gets linked to your account, and whatever operations they do, well, it counts towards that welcome reward. I really definitely remember, Gunther, when we were at the artificial intelligence talk the other day in Madrid. I don't know if you really remember how very simple it is. Like, hey, I'm particularly really interested in this Bitcoin thing. I'm very especially interested in crypto. Well, here you go. Here's my referral. You link it and you both benefit.
It's really very easy. We have it clear and simply with it. Sorry, just by sending the link, they register and there's no more complication, really.
You also receive the gift funds for the person who registers as well, which varies but generally ranges from 10 euros to 25 euros, depending on the timing and the promotion. And hey, it's available there for you. If you don't know where it is, ask us, as we always say, but you can find it in the menu. Those of you here, I believe, are top experts and have it super under control, but just keep it in mind. So that's a bit about it, Giovanni, the topic of the improvements to Bit2Me Pro, the high-frequency trading platform. Both on mobile, in the app, and on the website, you will find more menus, everything much more organized. On the other hand, the topic of referrals, making it easier to share what's happening with a family member through social media. And as always, well, there's a topic that we've been asked about a lot lately, right? What's happening with MiCA, among other things, with the European law on marketing crypto assets? Well, they are requesting that companies issuing stablecoins like USDT, USDC, and others have to do a specific registration so that exchanges like B2M can list and have those cryptocurrencies available. What do I mean by this? Well, regarding the famous USDT, the Tether coin, if it doesn't get registered in Europe, there's a bit of uncertainty about what will happen in the market, as you know, currently. We at Bit2Me's Whitehouse have decided that from now until the end of the year, even though the registration has to be done this summer, we will maintain it until MiCA comes into effect. We will not make a decision. So if you have any doubts about whether USDT will be around, we will keep it until the end of the year. There are other platforms that have announced they are going to delist it. Keep that in mind. We also want to use it as a way to attract and invite users to get to know B2Me. I don't know, it's a good piece of information because they have been asking about it a lot. And I want to give those indications that we will be providing that support until the end of the year. Definitely, indeed.
It's great. Thank you so much, because it's something very important for the people who have been asking us. We also have a couple of questions here. Gregorio, it's not working for me. Yes, Gregorio tells us the last 2 referrals are not working for me. I don't know why. I already noticed. I already informed support. They will get back to you as soon as possible. All those types of possible incidents will be handled exclusively through BME support, okay? No private messages or anything like that. Just use the official communication channels, and you will receive instructions as soon as humanly possible. Please be patient. Thank you for mentioning it, and the truth is that BME's support has also been improving a lot, so thank you all for trusting us. And there's another question. I was wondering, perhaps, maybe, I don't know if you have it in mind. Carlos inquires if you perhaps know exactly when the BM block actually starts for months. On July 1st. Do you maybe just want to answer, or should I? As we mentioned a moment ago, since yesterday, exclusively and very specifically, the BM holders who have indeed successfully met the minimum requirements of exactly use, and for the BM holder week already have exclusive access to it. Please check the email, kindly check the app, and update it if you meet the criteria and conditions I mentioned earlier. In a while, I will tell you again what the criteria and conditions are.
Perfect. Well explained, Giovanni. If you have any more questions, let us know, okay?
Here in the live chat, we have overlooked that we also have many new features, Javi, the historical activity filters. We now have new filters that have also been highly requested.
Yes, you got it. Or if you want to comment on it yourself, you explain it very well, Giovanni, man, you're on fire.
Precisely, we have several options to reach that filter. From the updated application, we click on the left tab where all the services and products are listed, then we go to activity. And now, what do we have exactly? Several filters where we will be able to sort by cryptocurrency by date, which had been requested a lot. We are gradually working through all the proposals and improvement ideas that are suggested to us. Well, that's one of them. Thank you so much for being there on the front lines with us to support us.
I think right now, at this very moment, the app, damn, remember we have Gunter here, who has been around since 2020. Do you remember? In 2020, the Bit2Me app. Yes, indeed, everything has never evolved.
Yes, let's go. And everything, every little thing. Besides, I have also helped with some things, for sure. I got involved in various phases of these. The Pay Center, for example, I joined to be able to vote. And that thing, I can't remember what it was called. The feedback was that I can't remember.
Some private, in-depth, and comprehensive interviews were conducted with some of our most loyal and dedicated users. In fact, what you are specifically mentioning is part of a beta tester program, where the main task is to test the applications in the program and thoroughly ensure that absolutely everything works smoothly and correctly before the final public release.
One of the most important points is indeed the coins. I remember that at that time we might have had approximately 20 or 25 coins or so, and we just announced this week that we have surpassed 300. That's right, as you know, we keep listing, and just to tie it in, Giovanni, we fit it with the new coins we have. What new coins do we have? Well, one called GME, which is known as GameStop's coin, currently available in the market right now. So, well, always be cautious. These are new coins. There's demand, there are pumps, liquidity in the market, but we already know that they can potentially carry a significant amount of risk. This is the one linked to the GameStop issue, which, if you haven't heard, is all about that movement they're organizing through forums to go against Wall Street's positions. Well, they have released a new token called GME, which stands for GameStop. Then there's ZK Sync, which has recently done a very large airdrop in the ecosystem and has generated quite a bit of interest from different communities. And it is now also available on Bit2Me, the popular platform. Then there's Quavik, remember, and Giovanni is a phenomenon, an expert in all these details that you have within the app tab. Specifically, there's one that specifically tells you about new coins, and it will light up in red with a dot every time that there are new coins.
Well, there they are, all of these items, and some of them might even be in the collections, as you can see right here. Remember that we have some small packs, which include, for example, cryptocurrencies with artificial intelligence, USAND, stablecoin, and everything you're talking about. So take a look. It could be quite interesting.
Layer 0, an interoperability protocol to connect different blockchains, which is, well, for those who are immersed in the world of DeFi or scalability, the programming of this type of project is very interesting. And then I'm going to connect that with the Launchpad as well, Giovanni, and also in the field of DeFi. Then there's Multiverse X, which is also a platform designed to build the entire world of virtual themes and functionalities, metaverses that are connected to each other to enhance user experience in various ways. It became quite popular. I mean, I actually remember that in the previous cycle, it had really quite a lot of traction. And well, these are some of the various different types of coins that we have in our collection. You can also find them in more specifically in Multiverse if you look for it in our extensive collection. And well, indeed, if you have any questions, any issues or concerns about any of them, we would be happy to try to answer them. I don't know if there's anything else.
Here we have a question from the audience that says, Ale, with the MiCA law, are they also going to put pressure on privacy coins? Are you planning to delist any? Greetings and great job.
Well, that's a good question, a really good question. Well, for those who don't know about privacy coins, for example, Monero is a privacy coin, Zcash, Usand, and other coins that hide the famous blockchain. I mean, you go make a transaction in Monero or Zcash, you go to the blockchain, and you don't find the information about that transaction. It's completely hidden. So what's currently happening? The authorities really want to go after these coins, these projects, and they want to prevent centralized platforms like Bit2Me from selling or trading this type of asset. Why? Because it is extremely difficult for the authorities to track people who use Monero and Zcash for transactions. Are they going to restrict and increasingly put more obstacles for exchanges so that we can list and have these cryptocurrencies in our portfolio? Well, probably yes. For now, we are keeping them until further notice. As I said, from now until the end of the year, we are not going to make any changes, at least from BB, and we will see what happens, right? Specifically, we are talking about privacy coins. So, well, if we can have it listed, then obviously we will comply with the legislation and regulation. But from now until the end of the year, the ones that are listed at this moment will remain. There won't be any changes, just like I mentioned earlier with the stablecoin USDT, in accordance with the current legislation and regulation, as I have already mentioned.
Thank you very much. Good information indeed. And thanks for addressing it.
Okay, also important, well, in BME, look, many times people talk about centralized exchanges, the role they play, and their function. Well, we are extremely delighted about this. We have been able to prevent significant fraud and scams worth an incredible 3.1 million euros. And we are proud to say, and this is a recognition that has been made, and I think it is something to highlight, because USAN is a comprehensive platform with a robust infrastructure, with core values that we mentioned at the beginning, Giovanni, of protecting and safeguarding, of providing a high level of security to the user, of allowing them to interact seamlessly with a reputable company in the ecosystem without having problems. So knowing that we have managed to prevent potential fraudulent scams, that there are people trying to deceive and mislead users who enter the complex and often confusing world of cryptocurrencies, and that we have successfully prevented and managed to stop them from literally extracting significant amounts of money from these people, stealing and misappropriating, why not say it, the substantial amount of money. Well, I think that is also something to value as a responsible and ethical company, and well, we want to share it with you. What are we asking you, or what message do we want to convey to you as well? That you activate all the security measures for your account, essentially, that you use two-factor authentication, that you use the PIN, that you use all the necessary measures, indeed, that you activate the message to your mobile phone, to your email, to prevent any type of attack. Correct. You see, it is very important also, please ensure that you remember to activate all the security measures for your account.
And always use the official communication channels of Bit2Me, that is directly with support, for any inquiries or issues. Anything related to possible incidents and information about your Bit2Me account is support, the only one exclusively that will be able to provide you with data, give you an appropriate response, and the corresponding instructions. Following those small steps that Javier mentioned, you can feel quite at ease here.
We are always improving both in terms of cybersecurity and, as you can clearly see, even in terms of compliance. It is extremely important to review and update your verification content in the security and privacy section of the application or website, which always significantly helps. We will always be actively developing tools to protect your accounts.
In fact, along those lines, Vitausandine, as we have explained before, we have a tool called Bit2Me Verifis. With this tool, you can simply verify, for example, the official social media of Bit2Me, Telegram groups, and some of our emails that we often send. Sometimes a user has told us, I doubt if this email is valid. Well, with that tool, you can verify it very easily. All right? So, not much more to add. We are at your disposal to improve all our services and security.
Well, fantastic. Jose definitely mentioned it in the chat. Let's not forget. We talked about how just a few hours ago, we closed a very important deal with a token that we will indeed have available on the Launchpad. We have talked, well, actually, we have published it. We have 2 articles, one on the blog and another in the Academy to go into more detail and provide additional details. We are going to do a very special and exciting program about the launch of this new protocol, of this token. The date is still to be determined, but we will try to make it next week. Why? Because you can already find reservation dates on the blog, right, Giovanni?
Correct. It's important to be able to participate in the Laos network. For the Laos network, it's absolutely essential that you must ensure that you have to deposit euros in the wallet. You already know that you have several ways to deposit Y, either by bank transfer, by card, or even if you sell some of your cryptocurrencies, but keep it in your wallet. That said, we also have some dates on how it will work. From July 4th at approximately 10 a.m. sharp local time in Madrid until July 10th at 11:59 p.m. sharp, everyone will be able to sign up for the dynamic waiting list. The price of the token will be approximately 0.075 euros, currently expected. Another very important date we have is July 11th. On July 11th at 10 a.m., the reservations will be executed automatically. Important. If you are going to make a bank transfer, keep in mind the bank processing times, which can be up to 24 hours or even longer if it falls on a weekend. The reservations will range from 100 euros to 5,000 euros. We don't have that here at the Orchid. Then on the 11th, starting at 10 a.m., at 12 p.m., the public sale will open with a minimum ticket of 100 euros 1 cent and a maximum of 5,000 euros. The public sale will remain open until July 15th at 6 p.m. local Madrid time.
So if you actually want to stay tuned or get to know this project a little bit more exactly, next week we will announce the day when we will have part of their team to tell us in more detail what it is about, okay? And you can ask questions live and participate.
That being said, and no less important along the same lines, the advantages of being a BM holder, as we already know, having BM in BME, whether in ER or in a wallet, makes us a holder. Specifically for the Launchpad, being a BM holder gives us the possibility of having priority access to the reservation phase and also improving our position. In other words, the more BM we have, the higher our chances of climbing in the ranking to participate in the Launchpad. So being a BM holder somehow indeed has great advantages, especially for these things. Just as taking part in early with the lockups has indeed been definitely very beneficial in the past, being among the first to participate in the Launchpad is also extremely advantageous in the future.
Well, in fact, if you look at the level of Space Center you have, you will see that the probability ranges from 10% at level 1 to 100% at level 7 for being able to participate in this type of launch when there is a new Launchpad. But anyway, you can check it on the website if you want to see the level you are at and the percentage chance you have of participating in that pre-round. You can see it there for the public launch, okay?
In fact, you know that people have been asking us about the Launchpad for several weeks and even months. So once again, we have kept our word. We are going to give you all the relevant information, as Javi mentioned. We can't give more details, but it was literally published today.
But anyway, just so you know, let's just stay tuned for next week to learn a little more, okay? And Giovanni, we have the proof of talk that our colleagues have been in Paris, both Go and Abel, and well, they have been sharing with the entire blockchain ecosystem, the web, everything about tokenization, including detailed explanations of the events in Paris, specific examples of tokenization, and the importance of blockchain technology. They have also discussed the significance of exchanges and companies that have been building all the infrastructure for this to happen. We are present there, actively participating and contributing to the discussions.
It helps me a lot because sometimes we've been asked where Ko is. Where is Ko? Well, Konopara is literally in many places, simply with the BB shirt, never better said, at events as just mentioned, and it will certainly continue with us, indeed giving visibility to the company on the international stage and being in forums with companies from other countries, as mentioned earlier.
Then, on the other hand, we also attended the Open Expo, where we had the great pleasure of indeed being with Gunther, who was very much there. And well, you took some fantastic photos there, Giovanni, indeed, as always, which we are sharing with you here. And at that stand we were at, well, right in front of us, there was a car, a beautiful red car. Look, in that photo on the screen, we are with Chema Alonso from Telefonica, a well-known figure in the tech industry. 2001, what a Madonso. Yes, in the center there he is with the famous chubby guy. Of course, of course. That expo is an expo of companies specialized in technology, innovation, and artificial intelligence. And well, we were also definitely very lucky to have this car, which is the one you drive on Thursdays, right, Giovanni?
No, it's really the one for the weekend. You usually wear it during the week. The one for the weekends is different.
2001. You're welcome. The agreement, as you know, consists of being able to use Bitcoin to buy one of these cars. Well, it had a good price, but Bitcoin needs to go up quite a bit, I think, for us to be able to buy it slightly. But anyway, just a quick reminder that if you don't want to get rid of your Bitcoin and you absolutely want to buy a car, in this case from the Mercedes brand, with whom we have an agreement, you can deposit them in Bit2Me, use Bit2Me loan to get the necessary liquidity, not just for the car, but for whatever you want, but, well, for the car too. This one was indeed cool.
Gunther, you aligned with this. We were also discussing. Go ahead, Javi.
No, I was saying that Gunther was there, that he should give us his feedback too, that it was around approximately 2.9 Bitcoin, more or less in price. So it sounds like it's not much, right?
But, you know, that's actually quite inexpensive. It's not a lot of money. I mean, in fact,
2.9. Oh my gosh. That's something.
And the truth is that the car was beautiful, very nice.
Gunther, you have also had the opportunity, in addition to being part of the community, to be one of our users. When you have had the opportunity to participate in events with us, what have been your expectations? What has been your experience talking with other users as well?
Yes, the truth is that those events, the first time I felt a bit strange because I had never actually been to one of those, especially not a technology one, not at all, really. And it's interesting because you get to know a lot of people in the sector, which this sector in Spain is not very big because there are few of us. And now I run into people and they even recognize me. They say, I've seen you in some video. Yes, I have definitely been to some. And the truth is that you meet very fascinating and interesting people besides you guys. And I absolutely recommend it to everyone who can actually go, because apart from meeting us and knowing where we are, there are people who even go and ask you, what are you? What exactly do you do? And that way it's much better for a person to explain it to you. It's better if a person explains it to you instead of seeing it on social media. I don't know, it's another way to reach the customer as well. The truth is that I really love these events. I love them a lot. I have a great time with Giovanni. I bet you do too.
Sign up for the waiting list, but quickly. That said, whenever a BM holder or a Bitcoiner passes by, if we have the chance, we almost always give them a little something. So don't be afraid to come by. I am a Bitcoiner, I am a BCM holder, and if we have the chance, we will give you a little something. And on another note, it has now been the anniversary of our partner, Telefonica, which has turned 100 years old.
They held an event there in the beautiful town of Las Tablas in San Sinatro, where they have their headquarters, and they invited us to participate to give a talk about the web, about Bitcoin, about cryptocurrencies. And honestly, it was great and very informative. There were quite a few people, and they were very surprised by the message we gave them, but they really liked it. It was meant for 3/4 of an hour, and we ended up being there for almost 2 hours. Jose Luis gave a very good session with NWC10 Lab on the topic of communities. He is a phenomenon and really navigates it like a fish in water, and they treated us very well.
The truth is that I couldn't be there on that occasion. The feedback given in the community was very good, saying that with some advance notice, most people would like to participate.
All the events we are participating in were open to the public, meaning you could register and attend any session you wanted.
In fact, actually, that photo they just showed a moment ago is precisely the one that needs to be updated. Exactly. And well, not less significant, Javi, we had also indeed brought up Belka. What can you tell us about Velk? As you know, of course, this is quite interesting.
Yes, look, it's always clear. Now that we have the collaborative partnership with Mercedes, it draws a lot of considerable attention. But we have to definitely recognize and say that Belka, which is Emilio's company, started the project to sell electric motorcycles here in Spain, and they have had great success. They have also received many significant awards and decided to start accepting payments in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Well, if they weren't the first, they were almost definitely the first. We also have CoolMod, the computer components company in Castellón, which also got involved in this, helping us immensely. But we have to give that recognition and immense credit to Belka, who are always going all out, putting in their best efforts. And, well, there are always good people who take the first step. So everything that BB is achieving now is also thanks to all the people who have indeed trusted, all the companies, the community, of course, and it must truly be greatly acknowledged.
Giovanni, that's right. In fact, the e-commerce service is increasing and companies will gradually see many more businesses joining. In fact, actually, there are numerous companies that are already using our payment gateway so they can start using it in the real world. In reality, they are currently benefiting from it. Like when many people at events ask us, well, how can I use these coins, these cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin and such? Well, you can use it in the real world in many ways. Quickly, as you were saying, Javi, through loans with loan, through BB card, with the MasterCard, and as we were discussing with Convert, directly paying with your cryptocurrencies. We have some of them, for example, some restaurants in Ibiza where, since the weather is nice, you can go directly to the restaurant and pay through our payment gateway with the B2Me wallet or with external wallets.
Absolutely, absolutely. Look, Javier Cuevas asks, can you give us any updates on the development progress of STX? Well, I actually spoke with Javier Tordabel about this topic yesterday because Joao, Javier, and other colleagues have been meeting this week within the CNMV. So it is still ongoing. We are still in that vertical, in that sandbox, and there are no updates we can share with you yet. But you should know that it is progressing and moving forward. So keep that in mind.
They will give us the internal signal. So thank you to the entire community for being here with us. And thank you, Gunter, for sharing with us in-person events and on this occasion here. We want more people from the community to keep coming to give a voice to the users who are the most important people we have here at B2Me.
Hey, thanks for the likes. We're close to 100. It has been a pleasure, Gunter. Thank you very much. Thanks to everyone. Jose, who is there backstage, Giovanni, a big hug. See you next time.
See you soon.